We are back here in Madden 26 franchise mode with another speed rebuild, and today we are doing the San Francisco 49ers. And so if you're new around here and you haven't seen one of my speed rebuilds before, basically the challenge of this video is I only have 10 minutes to make trades to try and rebuild this 49ers team and turn them into a Super Bowl winning team for a one-season simulation. And so today we're doing the 49ers thanks to a suggestion I got on a previous speed rebuild. So just looking at this 49ers team, 88 offense, 81 defense, 84 total overall. So of course this offense does have Christian McCaffrey, the guy I took in the first round of this year's fantasy draft. Everyone doubted it, but so far it's been a pretty good pick. We got Trent Williams out here, 97 overall. He is the second highest rated player on this offense, right behind 98 overall superstar X Factor George Kittle. And then of course we got Brandon Ayuk, who does have an upgrade, so we'll get him up to an 87 overall. Then we got Juice out there at fullback, and then Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy out there at quarterback, and then Mac Jones backing him up, who's actually played in a couple games this year. I don't know how many for sure, but I know he's played in a couple. But yeah, he's out there at 73 overall. And yeah, this offense, 88 overall, is the strong side of this team. It is a very high rated offense. I believe the highest rated one is the Lions with 89 overall, so we're right behind them at 88 overall. And I'm sure by the end of this 10-minute rebuild, we will for sure have at least a 90 overall offense. Like, we definitely should have at least a 90 overall offense. I would actually be pretty surprised if we don't, but yeah, this is what the offense is looking like. I would say right now, untouchables, for sure Trent Williams, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, and Brandon Ayuk. I don't really see myself trading him. Like, I don't really think there would be any point to. He's an 87 overall. He's already wide receiver 1, so really no point to improve upon that. Also, Kyle Juszczyk, I can't imagine a team trading for a fullback in Madden, so I think Kyle Juszczyk is pretty safe and secure on the 49ers here. Everyone else, though, I would say does have the possibility of getting traded. We could put George Kittle at right tackle. He would be a nice 69 overall if we did that. That is definitely an option, but checking out the defense here, I do have pre-existing injuries off when I do these. So we do have Nick Bosa and Fred Warner out here. If you think that's cheating, I mean, I guess that's a fair assessment, but I mean, this is how I've always done it. I've always turned off pre-existing injuries because the point of these speed rebuilds is to rebuild the 49ers roster, not necessarily the 49ers roster, you know, week 9 into the season. So yeah, we're just rebuilding the 49ers roster in general, not the week 9 of the 2025-2026 NFL season. So yeah, now that that's all cleared up, 81 overall defense, of course we do have Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, who are two of the only 3 players that are above an 80 overall on this defense. So we really do need them, considering our defense is an 81 overall. We only have 3 players that are above an 80. Everyone else on this defense is in the high 70s, mid 70s, and low 70s. So yeah, this defense definitely does need a lot of work, but this defense does have a lot of young talent on it, so it does make sense as to why the overall is low, because a lot of the guys here on this defense are still developing. But yeah, this is what the defense is looking like, 81 overall. I would say the only untouchables here, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa. Everyone else, I would say, is pretty open to be traded and improved upon, because I'm just trying to build the best overall team I can for a one-season simulation. So most likely a lot of these guys will end up getting traded. But yeah, that is all the yapping I have to do about this team. I think we should actually go ahead and jump right into this rebuild. Also, a quick note before we get started with the video, if I do sound a little bit different, the reason for that is because I recorded this video when I was feeling kind of sick, so if I sound a little different than normal, that's the reason as to why. And alright, with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start this timer here in 3, 2, 1. Okay, 10 minutes on the clock. So what I want to do first here is I want to trade for a quarterback. We are going to need a higher overall quarterback than Brock Purdy. So I think we could go for Baker Mayfield, 88 overall. Let's see, what are our draft picks looking like? So we're projected the 11th pick, so this should have pretty good value. So there's also, who else would I want from the Bucks actually? Like Jamel Dean would be nice, like Levante David, but do we really? No, we don't really need him, I don't think. Like, we could go for like Vita Vea, but he's going to be way too hard to get. Maybe someone on the offensive line, like Cody Mauch. So without any other draft picks, that's actually pretty decently far. What about a second and a future third for this package? Okay. What if I did a second So 2 seconds, a first, Brock Purdy for this package. It will not be enough. What if I did a third and a fourth? Will that be enough for this package to go through? It will. Baker Mayfield, Jamel Dean, Cody Mauch, welcome to San Francisco. So that's one huge trade, and we are only a minute off the clock already, so that's huge. So I think we could probably flip Mac Jones, probably. I mean, he should have some value at 73 overall. And so, yeah, we could still bolster this offensive line. I would say we could add maybe a higher overall center. And then we could use some interior defensive lineman, I mean. So what about Drew Dahlman? What's his overall? 78. I mean, I would like someone that's probably about like an 80 overall. Like, we could go for this guy. Do not know how to pronounce that name. And then, I mean, Calais Campbell, why not? So without anything else in this package, okay, so if I were to put Kevin Givens in this deal, okay, I knew it wouldn't go through. I was just curious how far it would be. So if I were to put a third, fourth, fifth, will that be enough? It will not. Okay, what about 2/3 and a fourth for this package to go through? We'll take Kevin out of the deal. I'll put a fourth. Oh, that was already in the deal. Okay, we'll put a fourth here. This fourth, will this be enough? It will not. Okay, so I think if I were to do, I only have 1 second round pick. Okay, so what if I were to ask for, like, I don't know, Jalen Thompson? Would he be a higher overall safety? I think he actually would. Yeah, he would. So we'll ask for Jalen Thompson. And then let's just see, without any other draft picks. Okay, so we'll do a third. Will that be enough? Okay, it won't. I don't even know if I'll have enough in total. What about 2/3 for this package? It won't be enough. Okay, we'll take Malik out of the deal. We'll put a fourth rounder in. It's not going to be enough. Okay, so what if I put like Brian Robinson in this deal? Would that be? You're kidding, dude. That's so close to going through. What if I were to put, I mean, is Mac Jones really doing that much in this deal? I don't really think he is. So we'll just take him out of the deal. And then, like, Demarcus Robinson. Dude, you're kidding. Okay, Kendrick Bourne should get this deal done. There we go. 3 huge pickups from the Cardinals there. And we are just about 4 minutes off the clock. About 3 minutes, 30 seconds off the clock. And we already have 2 big trades done. So that's huge. So I would say we could add another wide receiver, maybe someone that's like at least an 85 overall, just to pair with Brandon Ayuk. Our offensive line, I would say, is good. We can move Cody Mauch to left guard. Maybe we could improve tackle. Let's actually try to do that. Let's try and see if we can get like an 80 overall right tackle. Maybe like Deion Dawkins. What's his overall? It's probably pretty high. Yeah, 89. Okay, yeah, no chance we get him. We have like no draft capital. So Mike McGlinchey, we'll go for him. And then, is there anyone else on the Broncos? Like, we could get another interior guy. We could probably do that. And then, actually, maybe we could go for, like, Nick Bonito. He's actually not that hard to get. So, maybe we could go for him. I don't know. We don't really have the draft capital, though. That's the thing. So, I mean, we do have 2 first-rounders. Let's see. Without any picks. Okay, yeah, I'm going to have to include a first-rounder. So, I don't know if I'm overpaying, though. That's the problem. So, I don't know. We'll just ask for Brandon Jones. And then if I were to put Jair Brown in this deal, I don't know. Let's just see, how far does it get me? Okay, yeah. We'll take Brandon Jones out of the deal. And let's just see, with a first rounder, that's not even enough. Oh my gosh. Okay, so fourth and a fifth. Will that be enough? It won't. Okay, so we'll just have to go for just Mike McGlinchey. So a 5th round pick will not be enough. 6th, 4th. Will that be enough for Mike McGlinchey? Okay, we improve right tackle by a couple overall points. We will gladly take that. So I think we could use another safety, I would say, for sure. So I would say let's focus on that. Try and bring in another safety. Another corner, I would say, would work out as well. Maybe another linebacker too, I guess, wouldn't hurt. So yeah, safety, corner, we'll just focus on that for now. So Kevin Byard and Kyler Gordon. Without any draft picks, how far? Okay, well, the problem is I don't really have draft picks. So if I were to include a first, I would want Jaquan Brisker first of all, because he's higher overall. And then I don't know. Could I maybe also get like TJ or Tremaine Edmonds? And I could probably ask for a pick back. Would this... It won't. Okay, so what if I were to ask for, I don't know, a fifth? Could I get a fifth back? Probably not. Okay, what about no draft picks back? Yeah, okay, so fourth, would this be enough? Okay, we'll take Tremaine Edmonds out of the deal. I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely overpaying if I don't get something back. That's the thing. So, I don't know. Like, do I ask for Grady Jarrett? Would this go through? Very close to going through. If I include that fifth and fourth, maybe this goes through? You're kidding. Okay. I guess I just ask for a pick back. I guess. I don't know. Could I get like a third for this package? I would take a fourth. Could I get a fourth back from this package? Wait, I'm using the 2028 first. The 2027 one should have more value, so maybe I can actually get Grady Jarrett. We'll try that and just see. We'll put Grady Jarrett in this deal. Will this go through? You're kidding, that is so close. But fifth and a fourth, this should go through. Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Grady Jarrett, welcome to San Francisco. So we have 2 minutes, 40 seconds to make a couple more trades here. So defensive wise, we're good. Secondary is looking good. Linebacker, we could use one more. We could improve edge rusher, so I think we'll try and do that real quick here. So yeah, I mean, everything besides like edge rusher, we could use another wide receiver, but it's not urgent. So edge rusher, anything above like an 85. So let's actually go to the Chargers here. Khalil Mack, 86 overall. Could we get Khalil Mack, Diane Henley, I think that's how you say it. And then, is there anyone else? Like, I mean, Keenan Allen, he's a 1 overall point improvement, so I guess I would take that if we put Jawan Jennings in this deal. Am I overpaying? I might be. And let's just ask for a pick just to be safe. I went the long way around, but that's okay. 4th round pick with this package. Okay, we'll take the 4th rounder out. Wow, okay, so I'm actually not overpaying. We'll put Jawan Jennings in this deal because Keenan Allen is a 1 overall point improvement, so we'll take that. Khalil Mack, Derrick Henley, I think I pronounced that incorrectly. Diane Henley, Keenan Allen, welcome to the team. So a couple of huge pickups there. We have like no draft capital left, which, I mean, that's fine. That's kind of how it should be. So Keenan Allen, we'll just see if we can flip him real quick, I guess, because I don't really think there's anything urgent we need to improve upon. Like, yeah, this team is looking very good. We could flip Bryce Huff. Actually, let's see if we can flip Grady Jarrett. I think that's a little more important. So could we get like an interior guy that's like an 85 overall? Like Zach Allen, I would take him. Could we get... No, we can't. Okay, not even close. What about, I don't know, Grover Stewart? Would that be possible? Maybe if I include a couple of draft picks. Maybe. I don't know. For Grover Stewart, no. If I were to throw in Demarcus Robinson for Grover Stewart, no. Okay. That's fine. What about for Daron Payne? Will this package go through? There we go. Daron Payne, welcome to the team. So we got 30 seconds to go. See if we can get one more trade off. See if we can flip Keenan Allen and a 7th and Mac Jones for like, I don't know, an 85 overall wide receiver. If it's possible. Cortland Sutton, I would take him. Can we get Cortland Sutton? We cannot. Not even close. What about Jerry Jeudy for this package? There we go. We improve our wide receiver by 1 overall point again. That's probably going to be my last trade. We have 5 seconds to go. So, yeah, I think this team is massively improved. So, yeah, my timer just went off right there. I'll move a few positions around, and then we'll check out what this team is actually looking like. So I said I would get this offense into the 90 overalls, and I did exactly that. 92 offense, 89 defense. This team is up to a 90 overall after a 10-minute rebuild. So I think we were at like an 84 overall. If I'm not mistaken, the defense was an 81. The offense was an 88. So we made some big improvements, and this team is definitely in position to win a Super Bowl here. And so just looking at this offense, we got Baker Mayfield, Jerry Jeudy, Mike McGlinchey, the Cardinals center, whose name I do not know how to pronounce, and Cody Mauch as our new starters in here on this offense that helped propel this offense up to a 92 overall. We also will be sticking with the 49ers offensive playbook. I do typically use the Bengals one, just because that one's like an elite playbook to use for sim. However, the 49ers offensive playbook is a pretty good one for sim as well. So we'll just stick with that one. No need to change it up. But yeah, this offense is the highest rated one in the game, if I'm not mistaken, 92 overall. And we really have no holes on this offense. We have an elite running back, a very good quarterback, a great wide receiver trio, the highest rated tight end in the game, and then our offensive line is looking great as well. We also have an 88 overall fullback, so that always helps. But yeah, 92 overall offense. We will now look at the 89 overall defense. So the defense pretty much has a new starter at every position besides left edge, Mike linebacker, and Sam linebacker. We also do still have a starting cornerback. He's cornerback 3 now. He was cornerback 1, but cornerback 3 is still starting. So technically he is still a same starter here, but yeah, this defense got flipped upside down. We have 8 new starters on this defense, and one of them has an upgrade. So Khalil Mack, we'll get him up to an 87 overall, as well as a scheme fit. That is an elite edge rushing duo with Khalil Mack and Nick Bosa. And then on the interior, we got Deron Payne and Calais Campbell. So this defensive line is looking absolutely elite. And then our secondary is looking great as well. Jamel Dean, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Jalen Thompson. We're all very good additions who are going to help this defense out tremendously. And then of course our linebackers, Diane Henley. I think it's Diane. I don't know. Is it Diane? Honestly, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I probably should have looked it up before talking about the defense, but you know, it is what it is. Fred Warner and D. Winters out there as well. So yeah, this defense is looking great. We will stick with the 49ers defensive playbook, mostly because I don't really know a good defensive playbook for sim, so we'll just have to hope the 49ers one is good. But yeah, with that being said, we'll actually go ahead and sim through the season here. So before we do that, we'll do a quick record prediction. I think this team, I don't know, it's possible we would go 17-0 just because of how good this team is. I don't think that will happen though. I think we'll probably go, I'll say 13-4. I think we'll win our division going 13-4. I mean, if you go 13-4, you should, unless you're the Vikings last season, which that was pretty painful to watch. I'm a Vikings fan for those of you who don't know. But yeah, my prediction 13-4. You guys can comment yours if you would like. And without further ado, I'll go ahead and sim through the season. And so as the season simulation is slowly coming to an end, if you guys have enjoyed this 49ers speed rebuild, feel free to let me know in the comments which team you guys would like to see me do next. I also do have a couple of other speed rebuilds already up on my channel, so feel free to check those out after you finish watching this one. But we go 11-6, so that is not as good as I predicted, and we also lose the division. So who won our division? It was the Rams going 12-5, so we just barely missed out on the division. And the Panthers tied 11-5-1. That's interesting. You don't usually see ties too often in sim. And I mean, in general, you don't really see ties all that often. But 3 teams in the NFC East go 7-10. And the Packers and Rams tied 12-5. But the Rams do have the tiebreaker, so they get the 1 seed. So just looking at stats, we do not have anyone in the top 3. Wow, that's actually pretty surprising. I figured we'd have at least one, like CMC, maybe Baker, but no, none. But looking at team ranks, we were good. I mean, we were great. We were top 10 in everything outside of offensive pass yards, which is interesting considering we have Baker Mayfield, a great receiver trio, and the highest rated tight end in the game. Yet we were 16th, which granted 16th isn't bad. I mean, 16th is literally average. That's middle of the league, but I mean, I guess we got 11 wins, which, I mean, I wish would be more. But, I mean, I guess 16th isn't horrible. I just would have preferred top 10. I mean, everything else is top 10. So, all things considered, we did do pretty good. I mean, our defense was phenomenal. We were top 10 in everything, top 5 in 2 categories. I guess throwing the ball just was not our strong suit. But here in the wildcard round, we take on a Philadelphia Eagles team whose defense is very lackluster outside of stopping the run. They're pretty good with stopping the run. But as for letting up points in terms of giving up pass yards, their defense is not that good at all. However, their offense is very good. They're the best scoring offense in the league and the second best rushing offense in the league. I'm sure it's the Ravens who have the best rushing offense in the league. Typically, that's how it goes with their playbook. And in terms of stat leaders, do the Eagles? They have Saquon Barkley, second place with rush yards. 1,600 rush yards, 15 touchdowns for him. They do not have anybody else on here. So we're on the road taking on this Philadelphia Eagles team. Let's see if we can go to Philadelphia and get the win, and we do, 17-14. So it was a very close game, but we came away with the win. That is all that matters, and we go on to take on the Green Bay Packers, who went 12-5. So the Packers are a team that had a phenomenal offense, top 10 in everything. Defense, they're pretty decent in terms of giving up points. Passing yards, they're a great passing defense. However, rush yards, which is our offensive strong suit, they did not do all that great there. So all things considered, this is actually a very favorable matchup for us because we have a great defense, they have a great offense, but their rushing defense is horrible, and we have a very good rushing offense. So this should be a game where we hand the ball off to CMC like 20-25 times, and hopefully he can carry us to a victory. Do the Packers have any stat leaders? They do not. So yeah, we take on the Green Bay Packers. We do have the overall advantage across the board, so that is great. So we'll see if that translates to a win here at Lambeau Field in this divisional round, and we do 24-17. We get the win to take on another 12-5 team, our division rival, the Los Angeles Rams. And so this Rams team does have a pretty good offense. They're the 6th with points, 4th with pass yards, whereas their rush yards, they're not all that great, 26th there, which is pretty surprising considering the Rams playbook is pretty balanced, and Kyren Williams is also, I'm not sure what his overall is, but I'm sure he's in the high 80s. Defense-wise, though, the Rams did have a pretty good defense. 3rd with points, 12th with pass yards, and 10th with rush yards. So overall, their defense was pretty good. Rankings-wise, this is probably our toughest matchup. Just out of curiosity, though, I'm curious, how did we fare against the Rams in the regular season? So we beat them on Thursday night, 31-28, and we beat them again by 3 points in our second matchup, 17-14. So we're 2-0 against this Rams team, but we only have a margin of victory of 6 points. So ideally we would be winning by more, but wins are wins. Do the Rams have anyone? They have Puka Nacua, first place by far with 1,900 receiving yards, 18 touchdowns. Do they have anyone else? They do not. So we will advance onto the Super Bowl and see if that winning trend against this Rams team can continue, and we can go on to the Super Bowl here, and we lost. So after beating the Rams twice in the season, we lose 28-23. That's, wow, I honestly thought we would win. I mean, yeah, I said this would be our toughest matchup, just rankings wise, and we got outgained by 108 yards. We turned the ball over twice. Oh no, they actually turned the ball over twice, and they still outgained us by 100 yards. Oh my gosh, we must have just sucked. Well, Matthew Stafford threw for 200 more yards with 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 9 of 22, 40% completion percentage. That is crazy to me, man. But I mean, Christian McCaffrey, he had a pretty good game. He averaged 5.5 yards per carry. I mean, we contained Kyren Williams pretty well. It was just the fact that Matthew Stafford went off 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards. His rating was great. Even though we had 1 interception, he still had a great rating, and only 5 incompletions. Like, wow. We only had 1 receiver over 50 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns as well. He only had 2 catches. Both were for touchdowns and 55 yards. Wow. But usually you don't turn the ball over twice and still manage to win by 1 possession. Wow, I mean, that's just pretty surprising, man. That's just crazy to me, man. We just sucked offensively. I mean, there's no other way to put it. But the Rams do end up going on to win the Super Bowl 31-19 over Kansas City Chiefs, led by the MVP, Patrick Mahomes. Kobe Turner, he wins Super Bowl MVP as a defensive tackle. But yeah, with all that being said, that is going to be the end of the 49ers speed rebuild here in Madden 26 franchise mode. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching the video all the way through. I really appreciate that. If you enjoyed this one, feel free to let me know in the comments which team you guys would like to see me do a speed rebuild of next. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see y'all next time.